Now I'm going to show you how to set up a guitar or a bass track inside a Reaper or any DAW. It all works pretty much the same. Just want to show you how to set up these inputs, how to get a track going. Here we go. The first thing we're going to do is bring in the bass guitar. Here it is. I'm going to preface this by saying I barely know how to hold this instrument. I definitely don't know how to play it. That's the best I can do for you, but I am going to show you how to hook it up. First thing you need is your 1/4" cable from your bass or your guitar. You're going to go ahead and you're going to plug it right into your interface, into this combo jack. All right, so input 1 that I have set up right now for my guitar or bass, I'm going to be using a bass guitar. So I'm going to turn on the toggle switch here, which says line right now, which oddly enough means microphone or anything that's regular unamplified level. I'm going to flip it over to what says instrument, INST, on the Complete Audio 6 native instruments here. That only indicates that it's a different impedance. Like I said before, if you want to look up impedance and see what that actually means and get a better understanding of the electrical signal, go for it. Google's your friend. But I'm going to go ahead and just flip it over to instrument so we can use this interface to record bass guitar. Other interfaces, as I said before, auto adjust. This one doesn't. You have to do it manually. So I've put this in, this 1/4" cable. That means that I should be able to hear my bass guitar now. So if you look up on Reaper right now, you're going to see one track that's already live and it says industrial beat. This is a beat that I just made in Machine, just threw it in here. Just to give me kind of a backdrop instead of just listening to a metronome. I hate metronomes in general. I just usually use beats as my metronome, even if it's not the final beat. So now that we've got this hooked up to the input, I'm gonna set up a new track in Reaper. Here we go. So insert new track, and I'm gonna write bass right here. So try not to drop the bass. Here we go. Bass guitar. Just so I know it's a guitar. The first thing I have to do is set the input. Now, the input is input 1 on the interface. Since I have the interface properly configured inside of Reaper already, it's gonna know what I mean when I say input 1. It's a mono input. So I'm gonna go input 1, input mono. Here we go. And I should see a signal coming in, and I do. So I can kind of hear it coming through my speakers. I'm getting a signal in. You can see that up there with the level coming up. And so we're gonna lay down some tracks here. But the first thing I wanna do is tune the bass because I haven't tuned it yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open a plugin right now. And the plugin I'm gonna open is called Guitar Rig. Guitar Rig is not just for guitars, it's also for bass guitars, obviously. But you can use it for vocals, you can use it for any sound source at all. It's just a rack of available virtual instruments, effects. And you can just go down the list and kind of figure out what you want. It's got amp models. It's got all sorts of stuff. If you don't want to mic up your guitar amp, great. All you have to do is plug it directly into the interface. That's how it's designed. So Native Instruments made this product, and it's great. I've used it for years and years. It's one of my go-tos for pretty much everything production-wise. And it's kind of mind-blowing if you're a guitarist or a bass guitarist or somebody who's used to having like pedal boards. You can still use your pedals. I mean, obviously there's some kick-ass pedals out there that you're not going to want to kind of throw away, and you're going to want to get your sound into this computer. But this is really kind of a catch-all kind of utility that you can use. If you don't even want to get creative with it, you can just use it as a utility. Right now I'm going to use it to tune this bass. So I'm gonna hit enter on this VST3 and it's gonna bring up Guitar Rig. When it opens as a blank interface, I'm just gonna hit this right here so I get a stereo signal out of that. That's what that means. And then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna hit this little tuning fork here, and that's gonna allow me to tune this bass. Immediately it starts to jump all over the place. So it looks like it's a little flat, so I'm gonna tune it up a little bit. You bassists out there can laugh at me if you want. All right, so now my tuning's done. I'm gonna dive into some of these effects. So check this out. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna grab from the menu here, there's a tag cloud. It says input sources. I'm gonna grab bass. So now what it's gonna do is it's gonna give me a bunch of presets down here. And the presets are just gonna load up a full rack of different kinds of effects that change the sound. So here we go. Here's one. Obviously it's a lot different. Let's pick another one. How about crunchy bass? So let's go a little further down here. Let's go Ari Bratwurst. That sounds cool. Let's try that. Cool. All right. Let's try another one. Super bass. Let's try that one. Ooh, nice. And if you can guess, I mean, obviously I don't know how to play this instrument. I know how to play a piano. I would play some kind of bass, and I could use this and make it sound exactly like this bass guitar. Maybe not exactly, but close. If you look on this list here, so check this out. There's an EQ at the top here. See how these this kind of graphic EQ, if you've ever seen a stereo from the 90s, low end to high end numbers. And you scroll down a little further, and there's this distortion unit supercharger. It's kind of like a saturation. And then you've got Bass Pro here, and this is called matched cabinet. So this is actually simulating the room microphone on the right here, and on the left here is the cabinet microphone. So this is completely 100% cabinet microphone, which is why it has the tone it does. If I wanted to switch this up, I could change it by kind of going over this way. So now it's got some more like kind of reverb. So it's a kind of a close versus wide sound. Pretty cool. And then on the end, it's got this solid state EQ, solid EQ it's called, to kind of dial it in a little bit more sound quality wise. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay down some tracks of this bass. Even though I can't really play very well, I'm just gonna kind of screw around, and you're gonna see it kind of appear on the screen, and this is how you would multi-track if you had some other instrument parts, if you had a beat, if you had a whole other orchestrated song, the same thing would apply. You would wanna record just like this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead into here, I'm gonna close this out for a minute. I like this bass sound. I can always change that later. It's just a plug-in, it's not locked into the recording. So I'm gonna record into this track right now with this bass. I'm gonna get a little count in here. I'm gonna set it for 1 measure. Count in before recording. Don't run during playback. First I have to arm the jack for recording. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're just gonna stop there. So you see how this is kind of spiking here? I'm getting a red line, so that's no good. It's gonna sound like shit when you play it back. The thing we probably should have done is gotten a level first, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. It's coming in real hot. There you go. All right, that should be better. That should give us better results. All right, we're gonna hit record again and try it again. Cool. That's much better. So see these spikes here? These spikes are not nearly as bad as the other ones were. They're not anywhere close to the top. This is a perfectly usable track. So I'm gonna go ahead now and we're gonna play this back and see what we got. I'm gonna turn off my record input right now and then play it. Cool. I like it. It redlined for a little bit for a minute there. That's okay, as long as the recording's not clipping. You don't want clipping. If it's redlining a little bit, all you have to do is pull the fader back and you're good. I like that, that's cool, but maybe I want to try putting down some other parts and layering them up and see what happens. Let's try it. All right, so I'm gonna do another track here. I'm gonna set it up. So I've got this bass guitar, input 1, same as before. I can see my signal coming in there. We're just gonna lay something over top of this and see what happens. All right, here, let's check it out. Let's see what it sounds like. I mean, it's horrible, but you can see the possibilities of what you can do here. All you're doing is laying on tracks on top of each other. You've got your beat, you've got one bass part, maybe you got a second bass part, maybe this is a guitar part. I don't play guitar at all. I don't even know how to hold the guitar, so that's why it sits over there most of the time. Just imagine for a minute that that's a guitar and you're adding a guitar part over the bass and drums. So that's it. It's that simple, getting a bass into a Reaper and any DAW. It's just as simple. It's not rocket science. It just takes a little bit of fiddling with interface, making sure the input comes in on the right channel. If you have your interface set up ahead of time and your preferences like I showed you before, you won't have to worry about that. It's kind of just plug and play. And that's what's great about having a computer when you want to record a bass part or a guitar part, even if you're just playing against a metronome, at least you have a place to start from. So yeah, I got this bass part. I got this higher up bass part. This is kind of like a simulated guitar part, and I can build it from here. I can throw this out, whatever I want to do. It's really easy.